Everybody. I wanted to quickly jump on and share with you something that I forgot to share with you yesterday. And as I was practicing this morning, I was like, oh, that's so important for them to know. And so I was like, oh, let me just create a really quick video to share it with you. So, when you're doing your happy counting progression, that very first one, before you jump in and start, you share your signals with the participants. So, for example, it would look something like this. When I do this, it means that we're going to count up. When I do this, it means that we're going to count down. And if I do this, it means that you're going to pause and think about the last number that I said. The other thing to note is when you're doing that progression and this pause, you do it during like moments when you want them to pause and think about the last number. So in kindergarten, for example, you would do it every time before you transitioned from moving forward to counting backwards. You would pause. So it would look something like this. So we're going to do a kindergarten happy counting, and we're going to count from 0 to 10 by ones. So you would do it in kindergarten every time that you would transition between counting on and counting back. The other thing is when you move into first grade, that is not needed anymore. So, for example, they're counting by tens from 40 to 120. It would be like this. We're going to count by 10, starting at 40, going all the way to 120. So that's the big difference between when you use the pause in kindergarten, you use it when you're transitioning back and forth, and then in first grade, you just move fluidly between thumbs up and thumbs down across the rest of the grade levels. The other thing to note is I use the pause when I'm listening to the participants, and when they get to 100, if they say 120, I stop them and I say my turn, 120, your turn, starting at 120, go. And so you can use that pause to, I guess, clarify if you're noticing that they're saying things incorrectly. The other thing is you bounce back and forth between up and down. When you're noticing or hearing it not be choral. So say we're counting by sevens and you get to 21 and you hear half of the people in the group saying 28 and the other half like pausing or like wearing out. You would pause and say, what is 7 more than 21? 28. So starting at 21. And you bounce back and forth between that tricky part. So you're really listening. The other time that I use the pause is when we get into that 4th grade and 5th grade progression. So I use the pause at the very end, obviously right before we go to convert from just straight centimeters to centimeters and meters. So and then it's the same thing, like if there's a tricky part really. But it's really only in kindergarten that you use it, you pause before you move from up or down. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to Slack me or text me, and I hope that this was helpful for you.